crucial. Okay? The clouds are a collection of the Spirit of God in the righteous and God himself coming in through the gate. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. And that's what that is saying as well. And Proverbs 34 overkills that. Whose hands have gathered up the wind? Who's gathered up the Spirit of God, and those who are the messengers of God, the prophets of God, the warriors of God, and so on and so forth. Okay? Watch this part, rewind this part, watch it 3 times, take notes, ask me questions. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Truly then it will not pass away, pass over into the next spiritual realm. Okay, these people will be gathered and waiting for you and everyone else for this moment and for the moment when I die, okay, to pass over. I'm almost out of time. Let's shoot through. Oh man, I'm going to run out of time. All right. The day and hour, unknown. But about the day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son. I'm just going to stop there. See, I even got interrupted while they're filming me and interfering with my videos and trying to get me to do their stupid homosexual Western kind of presentation. There's no words for how much people are going to suffer forever in the afterlife. Whoever is not with me, obeying God through me, is against me. Whoever does not gather, scatters. Now ask yourself, somebody who's supposed to be willing to die for God on the drop of a hat. Why would they say, but then we'll be persecuted? No shit. Read Matthew 24:9 and Matthew 24:13. But what about my kids? No shit. Read Matthew 10. Okay? If they're not destined to obey and come with you, then you've got to let them go. They're turning into fucking demons. Read Revelation. A haunt for every unclean bird, a place for demons, a dwelling for demons, odd man, demon, scale performer, those who do not actually obey God but just put on an act, theater arts, Dionysus, Bacchus, garbage, Pan, Zeus, Baal, trash, Apollo, and so on and so forth. Athena, people who are just theater art, pedophile deities. And the other cultures that are not universal, pinpoint, and moral precision, that's every other culture. All right, the day and hour unknown, but about the day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father, as it was in the days of Noah, so will be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark. And then they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. This is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. It's also called the floodgates in Isaiah. I believe it is. The floodgates, the gate of God, the gate of the nobles. Okay? 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding with a hand mill, one will be taken, the other left. Incidentally, that's why Moses didn't actually split the Red Sea. That's why the world wasn't actually literally flooded. This is metaphor, poetic speaking, figuratively speaking. It's comparison, right? The water, the living water, the water of God, the water of cleansing, the water of righteousness in Isaiah, and so on and so forth. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. You should be keeping watch for me. All these people, especially in California, especially in America with over 380,000 churches, they were supposed to be keeping watch, not obeying the state. As soon as I said rally to me, they should have dropped everything. You're in the middle of a meeting, drop everything. You're about to pick up your kid from school, leave him there and come if that's what you think, that's what is going to get you there on time. I say, yeah, I can pick up your kid, but if they've got to choose between the two, and stop everything and come. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what time of night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into. So you must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. Obviously, I'm not stealing anything from you. Okay, I'm taking back what's rightfully mine by taking the souls of people who are supposed to bring their souls through the gate to God. And no church has a viable counter-argument talking about these things for years. I'm making videos on YouTube since 2009. I've been talking about the order of the church is wrong since I was a teenager. Okay? I've been talking about these things forever. Like 25 years plus. And they still have no viable counter-argument. I've touched bases with countless so-called Christians. What don't you get? Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household to give them their food at the proper time? Who then claims to be a servant of God? Who then did God allow to have a following? Even if you're atheist, God's allowed you to have a following. It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. Truly I tell you, he will put him in charge of all his possessions. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, my master is staying away a long time. Suppose he says, well, he's from a different denomination than the Son of God, whose universal pinpoint and moral position is religion and not a denomination. And he says, well, he's taking a long time. Well, other people aren't going there. Well, what happened? It says in verse 49. And he then begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with drunkards. He's complicit with the spirit of sexual sadism in the corporate state by playing his position in the corporate state, being on board, part and parcel, sharing in her sins, sharing in her plagues in Babylon's system instead of coming out of them, transcend. They're putting themselves in a trance all the way to end instead of training to be of God in the Royal African Falcon top martial arts order and on the gate. The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces spiritually and assign him a place with the hypocrites, everyone else who claims to be talking on behalf of God, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So your own Bible says, it is my duty to cut you and your offspring's souls to pieces. Isaiah 13 combined with Matthew 24. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites, and there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And in Isaiah 66, the smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. And I shall reign, like you hear in the song, he shall reign forever and ever. Greg, the hypocrites singing it. I shall reign forever and ever. Reminds me of David Bowie, and I'll leave it with this. In this movie called The Labyrinth, he starts off telling his pagan, fellow actress, fellow actor, fellow thespian, fellow theater arts person, he says, it's only forever, not long at all.